The importance of having banking relationships. So this is really key when it comes to getting business credit funding, because the way I like to think about it is like anything, your network is your net worth. And the same goes with having relationships with the right banks. So you need to be strategic with which banks you want to develop that relationship with and which ones you don't need to spend too much time with, just because the reason why this is important is because we want to establish these relationships as early on as possible, because this is going to give us access to more financial products such as 0% business credit cards with higher limits, faster approvals, and since you've already built up that trust with them on the personal and business side, they're going to be more willing to give you that type of funding. So the biggest thing that we want to focus on, especially starting out, is prioritize the grade A national banks. So the two that I recommend the most are Chase, Amex. Some other larger players are like US Bank, Bank of America. And you could open up a personal checking account and a business checking account. Really, the main thing they'll want to see is really the business checking account, which is what I would prioritize more. And I'll be walking you guys through the exact personal credit card lineup and banks you want to have those relationships with. The main focus is to only establish relationships with the banks that actually offer 0% interest business credit cards. For me, that's where I get the most value, because I could keep investing that 0% money back into my business and continue to get returns. So I'll also be providing you guys with a resource with the top banks specific in your state that you could start establishing those relationships with. The bottom line is the more relationships you have, the stronger those relationships are, the more funding you're going to get, and a lot faster. Opening up those business checking accounts and having more deposits going through will build up more of that trust. So here are your action steps. Again, prioritize setting up those business checking accounts with Chase, Amex, US Bank, Bank of America, and have any depositing money go in through those business checking accounts. So if you have like a 9-to-5 job, have that money coming straight to Chase, and then you could move that same money from your Chase business checking to Amex, US Bank, and Bank of America. And what this is going to look like it's doing is you're bringing in a lot of money to those banks and giving them business. And by doing that, it looks like your business is going to have a lot of activity. So if whether it's your 9-to-5 job or your actual business, you start moving money around to make it look like you're active on that business checking account. Then the next part of that is start setting up those business checking accounts with the top regional banks based off your location from that business bank branch locator that I'm going to be sharing with you guys, and seeing which banks have those 0% business credit cards to decide if we actually want to open up that business checking account. One other thing I forgot to mention is we want to prioritize these business checking accounts with the much larger banks, but as you go down the line with these smaller, more regional banks, a lot of times you don't actually even have to have a business checking account established with them. You'll still be able to get approved for the maximum that they're willing to give out. And again, that's usually with the smaller banks. With these top banks, we'll actually create that business checking account relationship with early on. But there are also plenty of banks who are willing to give out 25 to 50K type of credit limits without a prior relationship with them. So right now we're just prioritizing the top national banks and the higher tier regional banks. But in the next video, I will be walking you guys through step by step on how to actually use that bank branch locator. So I'll see you guys in the next one.